Hey, morning everyone. Back again. Doing a little more on the 65 Sweptline here. Getting the Hemi positioned and ready to put some motor mounts or fabricate some motor mounts here. So I'll just show you what's happening. So I'm using regular GM clamshell motor mounts. Just because they fit the frame and they're going to fit the engine well in here. I've pretty much got it sitting where it's got to go. I took what I've got is an old truck block that's supposedly shot, that it's kind of a core for rebuild. But I took the power steering pump off of the Aspen engine just to make sure that it was going to fit in here. I've got front to rear, I believe the engine's where it's going to be. Should fit well. Transmission, I'm going to have to redo the cross member. I'm not quite sure on height yet, and the angle on the motor and transmission. So next thing I'm going to do is I've got the frame all centered on the hoist. I'm going to use jack stands, and I'm going to get the frame perfectly level front to back and side to side on the hoist. And I know that my hoist is perfectly level when it's sitting on the locks. And then from there I can level everything from the frame to the engine and back and forth, make sure the engine's square in the frame. It does offset to the passenger side about an inch, which isn't going to be an issue because the differential's off to the side about an inch. So anyhow guys, once I get everything leveled and up on jack stands, I'll bring you back and show you the process of making the engine mounts here. So okay, so we're back. I have the frame leveled front to rear, side to side. It's sitting on jack stands. Ride height doesn't matter. I'm just concerned with everything level so that I can get my engine leveled in the proper position here. So I had to make a new plate to bolt to the side of the engine on the driver's side. On the passenger side, I was able to just take the original plate and I cut the perch off of it. And now from there, I'm going to take and I cut out and made 4 oversized plates that are designed to fit into the Chevy clamshell mounts here with a through bolt, and then I can trim these to the proper shape to go on to the perches that are bolted to the side of the engine here. So right at the current, where the engine is sitting right now, I'm perfectly level. The only thing is it has to come up about 3/8 to half an inch. So I'm going to continue working on these. I'll get some of these plates cut and tack welded in here to hold the engine where it has to be. And then I'll bring you back once I get into that process here. So what I did was I made a cardboard template of one of the brackets that I cut out, one of the 4 brackets, and I cut it with a center hole to mimic the shape that I want that piece of steel at. So I'll transfer this to that piece of steel now. Then I can slide the bolt in and tack weld it in. So once I get that piece cut, I will bring you guys back. Okay, so we have the 2 pieces trimmed down from the blanks that I had made there. I'll just show you what I started out with. I started out with 4 pieces of 1/4 inch plate cut like that. I trimmed them down to this shape, and the front and rear one worked out the same. All I did was they have a slight angle bend in them, One's forward and one's backwards. Here's the two pieces. Fit in there. A little bit more bend in the rear one than the front one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a good tack top and bottom on both of them. And then I'm going to go to the other side, get the mount done the same way, trim them, and get them tacked in. Then I can pull the two pieces out and finish weld them and then bolt them back in here. So once I get these tacked in and we start on the other side, I'll show you how it's going to get. Okay guys, we got both sides, the parts are made. I got them tack welded to the engine brackets. What I'm going to do on both sides is I'm going to build a bit of a half moon gusset to hold the two ears steady, kind of like the GM clamshell, and it'll stop them from folding up at all. I'm going to do the same on both sides, and it should be good. Anyhow, I get those done, then I can lift everything out, do all finish welding on the motor mounts, and then I can concentrate on the transmission mount. Okay guys, we're back again. I've got transmission mount all taken care of. I had to modify the stock GM cross member here. I had to cut it, and it just so happens that the cross member that was in the Aspen was absolutely perfect, and it allowed me to use the factory transmission mount as well. I just had to make a little plate to adapt it to this transmission tailstock here. It's bolted in, 2 bolts here on each side. There's 4 on each side, 1 on the top which triangulates, and then I also added this gusset on the outer edges that bolts to the top of the frame, which triangulates that as well. So next thing I have to do, I'm going to pull the motor out, and I'm going to weld up my motor mount clamshells at the top here, and then I can set the motor back in, and I'll show you the finished brackets and stuff. Okay, we're back with the finished project here. Well, as finished as the motor mounts and tranny mounts are going to be. I've got all the final weldings done on both sides. Everything slips together pretty nice. We got both sides done. And we got the transmission cross member is all in, bolted in, ready for the next portion of this project. So next thing we're starting with is going to be the owners coming this weekend. We're sitting here about noon on Friday, and we're going to get the cab on, get it fit, and cut all of our body mounts, and get everything level, all the Sweptline lines, all the body lines exactly where they have to be, and get the cab and the box bolted down. So this weekend I'm hoping I'll have a little time to video some of this, but we'll have to see how things go. Once we get rolling, sometimes I forget about the camera. So anyhow guys, thanks for tuning in, thanks for subscribing, and keep coming back. See you later.